Thanks everyone for being here today. My name is Edwin Zayas. I'm the principal and CEO of Web in Motion. And today we'll be presenting about digital transformation. With me, as part of this presentation, I have Gabriel Londoño, which is a project manager at Scrummers, one of our partners in my company. And through the course of the next hour, the agenda is as follows. I'll be taking you through a little bit of information about what is the state in terms of digital transformation and what are the latest trends in terms of corporations interested on digital transformation and what are some of the key enablers to allow for that kind of transformation to take place. So I did some of the market study that I'll be presenting to you, a little bit of summary. After that, I'll be presenting some success stories that my company, as well as with our partners in Scrummers in Colombia, what are we doing in terms of companies in the United States, some trends that I've seen and some of the companies that we are actually helping make the transformation. And then I'll turn it into Gabriel Londoño to present the success story of Test Corporation in terms of what that corporation has done in the recent years in terms of the transformation, as well as what are the results that they have experienced as a company as part of this transformation. So that being said, that's the agenda for the next hour. And towards the end, we'll have 10 minutes for Q&A to listen to any questions that you may have. Also, I want to remind you that this session will be recorded and we'll make it available to you after we complete today's session. Once again, thanks for your time, and we'll start with the presentation. So a little bit of an introduction. If this is the first time that you have joined one of our sessions, I always bring this slide just to give you a sense of who we are as a company. We were established in 2020 to support nearshore web and app development for companies in the Americas. We partner with top Colombian-based companies, Scrummers, represented on this call, as well as Colombia Games, that have already more than 10 years of experience offering best-in-class agile team support across the Americas. They also have deployments in Europe, as well as United States and across Latin America. So they have quite a bit of experience in this area. They also develop many applications as well. Many of these applications running on the cloud in a secure cloud environment. So they have a lot of experience in all these areas. So we are proud to count with their expertise, and they're here to support your needs. So let's start diving very quickly into terms of digital transformation and the cloud. And these are some statistics that I'm actually listing the source on the lower right-hand corner, Flexera 2020 State of Tech Spend Report 4. So this is fairly new. This just came in September of 2020. Almost half of all organizations indicate that digital transformation is a top priority for them. Other priorities include cybersecurity and cloud. And the reason is that one goes tied with the other as companies are going less of having an in-house infrastructure and moving servers and such into the cloud as part of the digital transformation. Cybersecurity becomes very important. So as we transform and move everything from an IT data center on a physical environment and move that to the cloud, we want to make sure that all the information is secure. So cybersecurity is part of this. As part of that, moving from the office or from a data center all the way to the cloud. As you know, I mean, AWS and Azure pretty much are the leaders on this cloud technology, and they're providing pretty much all the services and applications that are now running on the cloud. So as per my communications, digital transformation, it will not be possible without some investment in the cloud. Digital transformation is possible without an investment in the cloud because it's an enabler for that digital journey. And why is that? Is because there's many other applications that will come as part of the cloud. the opportunity for enterprises to move their enterprise environment from core all the way to the cloud allows for also an increase on connectivity to other applications. Those applications will certainly bring more productivity and bring a new set of services in eye of the customer. So that's very important. And I'm going to actually speak more in terms of some examples of how this transcends into real life examples with companies that we're working on today. But in essence, by going to the cloud, also facilitates for different corporations to integrate certain applications to new services or to new apps or new data, or connect to new data that in essence will not only help enterprises make better decisions, but also bring a new set of services to the end customer. So when you look at the chart on the right, this is a survey that has been done to many corporations in the United States. And as you can see, digital transformation is one of the top priorities. But then number 2 and 3 priorities are cybersecurity and cloud, is because what I mentioned is as we move these services to the cloud, security becomes a priority as well. So cloud is a foundation for digital transformation. As I mentioned, organizations are redirecting software investments for on-premises to cloud-based applications. So we have seen an increase in terms of corporations moving their infrastructure to infrastructure as a service, or platform as a service, or software as a service model that will allow them to take whatever they have currently and expand it into the future. And with that, there will be that results into a new series of new services that will come from that. And the reason is, today, when we look at AWS infrastructure as well as Microsoft Azure, there's many other corporations that are also bringing their services into the cloud. So it's easier once corporations move their environment into the cloud. It's easier to connect or interconnect to those other services that are already there. Probably a good example of that, and something that I use frequently, is Salesforce.com. Basically, it's one of the top CRMs in the space, in the industry. A lot of their services are now running on the cloud. Microsoft 365, a lot of that is running on the cloud as well. So these are examples of some applications that are already there. But in the case of Salesforce.com, Oracle, and others, if you're already running on those platforms, a lot of the data is already stored securely on the cloud. They already have interconnects that would allow your infrastructure to connect to those fairly quickly in a more effective manner. There's also many other applications that are available that are more impacting to the way corporations are packaging their services to provide more data. Data analytics are becoming very big as part of this migration to the digital transformation. So the access to more data allows enterprises to make better decisions, not only from a product development or product maintenance perspective, but most importantly, how that information would allow corporations to make better decisions to transform the products that they bring to their customers. Also very important is that as it goes into the cloud, now there's a lot of analytics that coexist in the cloud. Those analytics and data are consumed these days by enterprises by understanding buying patterns by customers. So this is very important. By understanding what are the top products that the customers are looking for. Also getting feedback from that customer base real time allows corporations to make better decisions in terms of how to bring new features and functionality of those products and services. I work also with many device manufacturers. Now, many of these cloud applications also interact with devices on the field. That's a good example as well. So if your industry is a device-centric industry, by connecting into the cloud, all the data would allow to run diagnostics on those devices to ensure that the devices are operating at the maximum capacity. Also that since they're connected devices, making sure that the usage of, for example, battery usage, etc., Everything is optimized in the best fashion, and all of these decisions are made just because now we're able to digest all the information that is on the cloud into a database, and connecting that database with other applications allows enterprises to make uh, some sense of that data that is coming from the field. This is a little bit of what I mentioned earlier. It's about the digital transformation is driving the customer experience. And the reason this is the case is because now a lot of this infrastructure that has moved from core into an enterprise, into the cloud environment, allows for um, more data to be available. The integration of other applications, and by integrating more applications that customers are using, now we can see the use patterns of those applications and also the features that they're using the most. So it gives the enterprise the intelligence to not only prioritize what are the key products and services that are needed as part of a product rollout, for example, but also into the future, expanding in terms of the features that are most used by the end user. So this is a key example of and if you look at the chart, it's the analytics and the big data. So this is something that we could not count with in the past. Now access to more data means more intelligence, and by having that intelligence, we can make better decisions. Enterprises can make better decisions to do a product expansion, or even start a new trend or new business, or a new series of products and services to support better the end customer. So here is a portion that I would like to speak a little bit of what Web in Motion, in alignment with Scrummer, has done in the last year. And we have had a quite dynamic year, in the sense that certainly, 2020, we're still in the middle of the pandemic, which has posed a lot of challenges for a lot of companies and individuals, hopefully, definitely, and families, and all of us. I mean, now everybody is pretty much connected from home, conducting business from home, schooling from home, etc. So it certainly has provided a lot of challenges for the industry. But with those challenges, now corporations are kind of thinking in a different direction of how we can then leverage the cloud and this digital transformation, and how we can move from the old ways of doing the business and bringing this in the forefront to the end customer that is always connected. So either through mobile devices, a tablet, or how we can make a website more accessible or easier for the end user to understand what these services are, and make that purchase process a lot easier. And also the experience at the end of the day is, if they're consuming a lot of these services now online, what other features and functionality can we bring? And by that digital transformation and being in the cloud, it's a lot easier to integrate other services that already exist in the cloud, and bring those as an additional feature, functionality, or improvement to the current products that you have. So these are three major industries that have seen quite a bit of change. Real estate, I'm based here in the Washington, D.C. area, and real estate is booming across the United States, and there's many factors that allow for that. But one of the things that I've seen in the real estate space is that now a lot of folks do not have that face-to-face interaction. So in essence, many brokers as well as realtors have actually moved their business. It now is not done face-to-face. Now they are built web pages, social media. So those web pages are also linked with social channels like Facebook and Instagram, and which allows them to create content, videos, information about what's available in a particular region and area. Doing virtual tours. This is amazing. I mean, I've seen amazing tours now. There are companies that basically just came to business during the pandemic because we saw a need of doing these virtual tours. Now people cannot see homes in a real-time manner. So now through the internet, through the web, and through cloud applications, now they're able to serve an entire house online, and actually as a result, making the decisions very quickly, because now some of these individuals might be coming from the West Coast, coming to the East Coast, or vice versa. So now not able to travel But with these virtual tours and having these homes in a virtual fashion has opened the window for a lot of them to make the decision without actually stepping onto that home. So this is a game changer in the industry, and we're going to start seeing more and more of this, just because we cannot, we're still far from the normal travel that we had before. There is a lot of restrictions that stop folks to enter homes or properties, just because of the regulations in the different states or different countries. So this is an area where I see real estate booming, but it's also they have embraced the cloud offerings and also many other applications like 3D showings that is helping that industry. Food and liquor business, as perhaps one of the industries that have been most hit during COVID-19 is really the restaurant business, the food industry. And with that, many times they have to get creative or reinvent themselves during the pandemic to serve their customers. So, here in the DC area, and I mean, across the United States, there is a lot of delivery options for restaurants, but now restaurants have had to step up. Their websites were just very generic prior to the pandemic. Now some restaurants have gone to the point of transforming their industry to providing even cooking classes to customers through video applications that will connect them to where to source the best produce in order to meet, to do those recipes. Currently working also with liquor stores. Many of them were operating, old school, in the old fashion of people just going into the store, buying the particular product that they want, and they leave the door. Now, pretty much everything is online. Now we have to transform that business and bring all that digital content into the cloud, into a website where they can actually see the product, but also get reviews of the product, and also buying the product in an easier fashion, and also how we can get that product from point A to point B. So now it's not only about that, but it's also shipping. So now it's gathering information through these websites. Now we can gather multiple feedback from users or people that consume these products. So the consumer can get a sense of what that product is, what is the quality, what are the tastes, etc., and also what to do with that product. So in the food industry, if there's some certain recipes, then link with some key sites, and also link with other applications that provide supermarket delivery for the produce to actually make some of that at home. And including, I even know some restaurants that have gone the step beyond and incorporate video content into their current sites, and that video content to provide instructions of how to cook certain meals, for the end user. So sometimes you have the produce, but you don't know how to do it. So they're actually tell you real time how to make some of these recipes. And of course, the last one is janitorial services. Cleaning companies have they have expanded their services. Certainly, this is a very important area for airlines, restaurants, and businesses, especially now that we see probably a trend of maybe getting back to some level of normalcy, where people are coming more and more into the office. I mean, I see the traffic here in DC grow quite substantially in the last month. It tells me that people are probably little by little getting back to an office space. So with that, the janitorial services have had to expand their reach, certainly by showcasing on websites and a lot of their products and services, but also linking to areas of more education, more of these videos that I mentioned. They'll also, on the back end, they have had to interact and source a lot of these new chemicals or processes or machinery that they need in order to perform the duties of cleaning this, airline, the airlines or the office space. So all this is now interconnected, and the only way to do it is by basically taking the infrastructure from a physical location all the way to the web. That way they can bring that, and really by doing that, not only they're educating their customers, but they're actually getting access to potential new customers into the future. So these are great areas, and these are only 3 industries. There's many other cases that we are starting to see more and more. And with that, I'll turn it to my colleague Gabriel to actually showcase and tell you a little more how they have used the digital transformation at Test Corporation. And so I'll turn it to him to provide some insight there. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabriel. I am the project manager at Scrumworks, a full-stack remote technology development company with agile teams and staff augmentation capabilities. Thank you, first of all, everybody, for assisting to this webinar. What I'm going to be talking about is about Test, an American company based in Dallas that took a chance using us as a remote team to develop their digital platform that allowed them to diversify its revenue streams through ad placement in its own platform. So what they wanted to do is basically make this new platform and focus on their core business. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Test. Like I said, they're based in Dallas, Texas, and they use mobile technology solutions to generate easy and ever-improving guest experiences in the hospitality industry, meaning hotels, malls, airports. Pre-pandemic, they were moving over 10 million cars a month. So they had quite an extensive network of customers. And you probably used them before. If you ever approach a valet stand or any other operation where they ask you for your telephone number, they'll send you a text and you can request your vehicle and make payments, and all of these technology is basically what Test do. I'm going to give you, following up with what Edwin was presenting, from a general bird's eye view, what digital transformation really means. It's a cultural transformation, meaning that technology is going to keep evolving and changing, but the key element in the whole transformation are the people with the right mindset and the skill level who use these new technologies, current or new technologies, as tools to make the new developing process more efficient. That's basically what we mean by it. This obviously entitles an investment in effort, time, and there are risks associated with creating a new team or developing an existing team to a new way of thinking. So that's what we mean by a whole cultural change. There are also some extra costs associated, like providing the hardware for your new team, developing the culture with ongoing training, etc. There's cost, indirect as well, and direct, meaning rent fees, equipment costs, payroll related expensive insurance, taxes. Another way that companies, like in this specific example Test, they took a different approach, and what they did was basically adopt an already remote agile team that had already technology and agile methodologies in its core business, and those processes in place and people with the right skills, with the right mindset and the tools to immediately start working on the project. If we go to the next slide, yes. As any other company or organization, they had some concerns when considering which remote team was going to be the one that was going to help them out. And some of those concerns were obviously, will I get a positive return on my investment? Will the quality of this remote team be adequate for what I want? Can I focus on my core business as opposed to micromanaging this new team, especially on a remote basis? And will communication be, flowing in the right direction? Will the product be delivered on time? All of these concerns are obviously present, and it's something that you should be considering. When it comes to the return on investment, Test was able to reduce its research costs by about 60%, which is significant in comparison to doing it in-house. This also meant a reduction in payroll-related expenses without compromising the quality of the talent, because many times there's a mistake that people do when they outsource and when they partner with a remote agile team, is that they think that the cost is the only thing that matters, when in reality you have to keep in mind the talent itself. The other point is, will the quality of the remote team be adequate? The technical, what they're really asking is the technical expertise in sync with the overall objective? As Scrummers, we have software engineers with over 10 years experience across the whole spectrum of technology, from agile roles, front and end, back-end development, data engineers, UX, UI design, languages, etc. You name it, frameworks. And what that allows a company like TESS is to focus on its own core business without having to invest either time or more energy into a new development. And obviously, being agile, the communication, it's meant in sprints that could be weekly or otherwise, and the delivery of the product, it's always changing, but it's always in terms of what the customer really wants. It's also something that they want to make sure is that the remote team has the ability to self-regulate, and that the schedules of each step are working on an ongoing basis. And what you want as a partner, it's a co-management, basically an extension of your own technical team that can help you out either with creative ideas and ever improving the digital product. And at the end, when we make the delivery, you want ongoing technical support as well. And that's why TESS chose Scrummers, because they were able to see that not only we had the technical expertise, but that at the end of the project, we were still going to be right next to it, so that the transition was going to be smooth and the ongoing improvement of the digital product continue. If we go to the next slide. Okay. What were the results for TESS? Because as I mentioned, TESS wanted a new platform to generate new streams of revenue, and they wanted us to develop this. And at the same time, they wanted to be saving on effort, time, and money. We're glad to inform that not only we delivered consistent with the requirements, but exceeded expectations thanks to a creative team, because that's the whole idea when you're merging with somebody else that has that capability, not only the technical, but the creative aspect of it. We suggested improvements to the solution, so it made it a lot easier for the end product. As a result, the platform was a success, generating new revenue and providing excellent customer experience for the TESS customers, which is what you really want. We're glad that it worked out. And in conclusion, when selecting a partner to develop your digital product, you want a co-creator, an extension of your own technical expertise, and with the right mindset, who can use technology and tools to its full advantage, so that your project is a success. Because digital transformation, it's all about people, processes, and technology. So thank you so much for allowing me to talk about TESS and the case success. Are there any final thoughts that you have, Eli?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gabriel. And basically, I know that I noticed that some folks just joined in a bit late. My name, once again, reintroducing myself, Edwin Zayas. This session is actually recorded, so we'll share with you if you miss the beginning of the session. And so as part of Web in Motion, we have partners like Scrummers. We are leaders in the space of digital transformation. We're working with a lot of enterprises to really help all your enterprises or companies transform. We actually have a set of products that are also running on the cloud. So we're not only serving our customers, as part of this digital transformation, but we also have adopted digital transformation as part of the services and products that we have in our portfolio. So that being said, I really appreciate once again your participation. We'll open now the lines for any questions that you might have. Here on the screen, I'm actually sharing my contact information. So certainly, if you have any particular needs or questions following the session, feel free to reach me. That way, we can address those questions. And most importantly, if your corporation is looking to transform, from a digital perspective, we'd love to support your needs and looking forward to help you through that transformation and through that process, as Gabriel mentioned earlier. It's really a process, and that takes some effort. It's a team effort, but we're here to support your needs and make that a reality for your company. So that being said, we'll open the lines for any questions you might have. Any questions? We'll wait for one more minute. Well, we'll adjourn right now. Once again, thank you for your participation, and look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. Thank you.